see the last time the Indian cricket team held the World Cup. It's been 47 games, 44 days, and tomorrow night we could see this happen again. My name is Prasanna Kovalam, and I am going to be the host for the Common Man Show. Before we start for the final time this World Cup, I'd like to thank the traditional owners of the land, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. That's it, guys. One more day, two more teams, and the World Cup. Hopefully, it's ours, i.e. India's, but who knows what's going to happen. Ritvik, go ahead, mate. Welcome, and let's see what we've got.
Thanks, PK. And I'm glad you had that poster behind you because your accent would not have revealed your loyalties otherwise. So, before we start, guys, I've got a small confession to make. Last time for my birthday, my wife got me a few cricket posters. The posters being of Virat, Dhoni, and Rohit Sharma. And I told her that I'm not a huge Rohit fan, so I kept the Rohit Sharma poster somewhere, and I had put up the Dhoni and Virat posters on my office walls. But whatever may be the outcome tomorrow, I must confess that you see behind me, there's that Rohit poster. That Rohit poster is going to come out, and I'm going to be a diehard Rohit fan just because of his, let me say the word again, belligerence in this World Cup. So, guys, honestly, the Australia-South Africa semi-final was pretty predictable. I think Bavuma was pretty mediocre with his bowling changes. He was very conservative with getting the spinners in, which he should have done earlier, especially after that first over from Markram where the ball was turning square. So we have got the two usual culprits in the final, meeting again after 2003. And no matter how much ever we want, we can't help but think of that World Cup that we had. But one major difference, and no matter how strong we were during the World Cup, and probably it was only the second time in the World Cup history till then, after 1987, that we were one of the stronger teams. That said, before the final in 2003, I did not expect India to win. I thought the rampaging Australians had much better big match temperament, and they were the favorites going into that game. This time, however, I feel that India has got an edge. I will not use the word favorites because only a fool will rule out Australia from a World Cup final.
Did you say only a fool would rule out Australia?
Yes, I did.
Okay. PK, what are your thoughts? Sorry.
Manan, I'll tell you my thoughts later, but I want to hear your thoughts, mate.
So, of course, the game, as we predicted, Australia went through. Had it been for one drop or two drop catches from QDK, and surprisingly and shockingly, he is one of the better wicket keepers going around. He dropped it. He almost dropped the World Cup, if I may say so, or a World Cup final at least. And the result was predictable. Sad to see QDK go in this way because he had a brilliant World Cup. He had a brilliant career, but that's the last memory that one would have, that he dropped that very, very important catch at the end. Other than that, of course, I do feel India has the edge, not just because of the performances we've had, more importantly because of the temperament. The first, Zahir Khan delivery that happened in 2003, where he was still a young lad, and he definitely covered it up in 2011. This time around, we start as the ones who are on a juggernaut. And as we discussed last time around, Shri Narendra Modi is in the stadium. There is no way India can lose if he is around. And I dare say if India loses, then there is a problem with the 2024 elections as well, because the die-hard cricket fans and everybody else will be like, is he the bad omen in the entire World Cup? Because he was not there in the previous 10 games. And so what remains to be seen is the performances as well. Not sure if we sitting at home would get to see it. Maybe only the people who've got the tickets for 1,20,000 get to see it. But overall, pretty excited for the game.
Okay. So before Prashanth brings out the real stats out, because Manan said that Mr. Modi will be there at the stadium tomorrow, I'm sure India is going to cross 271. What say, Vijay?
First of all, I'd like to begin by paying my respects to the traditional owners of the Motera Stadium, because that is where tomorrow's pitch is. And I really, really hope the curators have done a good job and not gone out of their way to do anything to, favor either team, because I think it's going to be an amazing final. You've got, multiple times champions Australia who are so used to this. It's just routine. It's in their DNA to win these big matches. But then you've got the Indian juggernaut that's looking, which is looking really, really good. So I'm positive. I'm cautiously optimistic about India's chances is what I would put it like. So we do have a very special guest on the show today. We've got a wonderful musician who also happens to have composed a lot of music for certain cricketing things like R. Ashwin's show, Kuti Stories with Harsha Bhogle. And he's done a few ads with CSK as well. He's worked on a CSK jingle, he's a version of the popular jingle that was played in the stadiums. So it's my absolute pleasure to welcome on this show Prashanth Techno. So I'll throw it to Prashanth Techno because he is a mad cricket buff, and we've got like 4 MBAs on the show, and it took a musician to come up with a slideshow. Like he's come up with like a proper presentation deck today with stats. So it's insane. He's just putting us in place right now. So Prashanth, over to you, man. Welcome to the show.
So lovely to see you all on the eve of the match. So I think I'm loving the atmosphere because I think this is the best I've felt about India in the World Cup after I was born. So like before getting into 2019 World Cup, like I was just thinking Australia toured India twice, I think, in the last 4 years for a one-day series. One was before 2019. I'm not sure. So I think that was a match where Ashton Turner, someone like Australia ended up winning the series in India. And then there was this series, which one of the matches happened in Chennai, I went to. And Australia defeated India there. I think Adam Zampa was the man of the match or something like that. Very recently. Okay. So, but then there was another one-day series which happened in 2020, which India won the series. So I think Australia have performed quite well in India. You can't rule them out. But the inertia at which India is going right now is quite amazing. And so anyways, so Vijay and me, we were having a conversation about 2019 World Cup. So I did some screenshot grab, and this is not like by any means a professional slideshow.
Funny you say this is not a professional slideshow. I mean, what made you think this was a professional podcast?
There are 5 people in it. It could be professional.
Let's get on with it, man. Let's see your slides. Come on.
PK actually has notes.
PK is doing what he used to do in class, pretending to take notes.
Wow. Okay.
You guys all passed because of me, so shut the fuck up.
So yeah, so in 2019, India did finish first, and a lot of people, we've been thinking about like what went wrong. Was it of course there was this whole angle of in Old Trafford, 2 days of cricket, rain coming in, and India clearly having no toss advantage, playing in the morning hours in England, and again losing the match. But I was just going through the scorecard of all the matches. I'm not like by any means a professional analyst, but I was quite shocked about the decision making of the squads for each match. So I'm just going to run through them and give my 2 cents on it. You guys can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. An observation. Okay. So the first match was with South Africa. This was the inaugural match, and I guess this is the 11 that India wanted to go with. So starts with Dhawan, Rohit, Kohli, KL Rahul at number 4, Dhoni at 5, Pandya at 6, and Kedar Jadhav at number 7 as a spinning all-rounder in England. Over a third full-time seamer like somebody as decent as Mohammad Shami, and then no Ravindra Jadeja in match 1. Okay, so then fair enough. I think India won the match convincingly, and I'm thinking India is gonna kill it with this team, and this is the best 11 they are coming with. So we go to the second match. It is against Australia at the Oval. Here, KL Rahul is sent back to number 6. Okay, Hardik Pandya comes to 4. I don't know what's the role of Rahul here. Dhoni was considered to be slightly defensive in this whole World Cup. Still, he scored at a good strike rate, and I remember him hitting a huge 6 and Kohli like opening his mouth wide open, like how we are looking at. We are looking at Virat Kohli right now.
Yes.
Okay. So again, here even I see they are sticking to Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar, and Hardik being the third seamer in England. Okay, fine. Oval might be it's a flatter wicket, and they've scored 352, and India convincingly won the match. So still we are convinced, but still the main thing is there were a lot of discussions around who's the number 4. I don't think India even committed to a number. Previous match we see KL Rahul at number 4, and here Hardik Pandya is at number 4. He's played well, no doubts about it. Okay, now next match, India versus Pakistan at Old Trafford. What happens? Shekhar Dhawan gets injured, so KL Rahul becomes the opener, and Hardik becomes number 4, and Vijay Shankar comes into the squad as another
3-dimensional player. All right, I will not hear anything against the 3-dimensional player.
Yeah. And Vijay Shankar comes in, and still it's Kuldeep and Chahal and Kedar Jadhav is still in the mix, and no Ravindra Jadeja yet. Okay. And here number 4 is Hardik Pandya. And then Vijay Shankar is at number 6.
Prashant, just to clarify, so Jadeja was not injured during any of these games.
No,
right?
no, no.
He
He's
was
not
available
injured.
for selection.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure about that, but let's assume it that way. Okay. And then the next match, India versus Afghanistan.
And probably the only time India seemed like committing to a number 4 was when a year before this World Cup, India toured New Zealand and Raido was a man of the series. And Virat openly said that Raido is the number 4 going forward.
And he was dropped.
Raidu is only 2-dimensional, mate. Vijay Shankar was 3-dimensional. You need 3 dimensions. See that 3 dimensions?
Yeah.
You needed 3 dimensions.
He had height, he had breadth, he had width.
Yeah, but actually he picked a wicket of the first ball. So we thought, okay, he has got the
It's his
third
World
dimension.
Cup.
Vijay Shankar is at number 6.
Six.
Okay. And Dhoni is still at number 5. Okay, we are committing to Dhoni at 5. Okay. And now India again convincingly won against Pakistan, who were not even half good as what they are right now in that World Cup, I thought.
Yeah.
Now going to Afghanistan, this was a proper fight. And Vijay Shankar is at number 4 again. No.
That's it, boy. Come on.
And number 5 is Dhoni. Now, still Kedar Jadhav is there. He's actually played well. He scored 50 in that match because it was a very thin margin. 17-18 runs we won. Okay. And this is at Southampton, same place, I think, where we played South Africa. And here, Kuldeep Chahal and no Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Okay. Instead, that Shami comes in. He takes a hat trick in this.
In the last over. Yeah, correct.
So in 2015, he did take at least 20 wickets, I'm thinking. Okay. And then he was not played for any of these matches in a country like England where the ball, and it's in the morning in England and all that. Okay. Still, here, Dhoni is at number 5. Okay. And Hardik, who was expected to be number 4, has become number 7 now. Okay. Now, next match, India versus West Indies. Again, Vijay Shankar at 4. Kedar Jadhav at 5. Dhoni at 6. Here, still no Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Maybe injury was a concern. I'm not sure. And Shami, I don't know how many wickets Shami took in this match. That's something I need to check. Okay, this happened, and I think India easily won against West Indies. Now, the next match was at Edgbaston, which is Bangladesh. So here, Rishabh Pant comes into the squad. Okay, so far we've been winning every match. Okay, there's no need to actually change the squad. No Shikhar Dhawan. KL Rahul has batted very well. Rohit Sharma, no matter what, he's playing amazingly in this World Cup. Okay. He scored some 620, 640 runs. Okay. Kohli at number 3. So Rishabh Pant at number 4. He's done well. Pandya at 5. Dhoni at 6. Here Dhoni is at 6 with Hardik Pandya at 5 and Dinesh Karthik at 7. Technically, this team has 4 wicket keepers in the squad. Okay. And Kuldeep is chucked out. And there is Bhuvaneshwar, Shami, Bumrah. Still no Jadeja. Okay. Now India versus Sri Lanka. They bring in Jadeja here. Okay, this is a useless match, I think, because Rohit and KL have done a great job. And still Pant at 4. Now, no Kedar Jadhav. So now number 4 is Rishabh Pant. And suddenly people are like, okay, number 4 India isn't performing well. He's played like his second match as number 4.
Second match of the World Cup, yeah.
And the first match, he has already scored 48 versus Bangladesh, which is fair enough. And we convincingly won here. Okay. And number 5, Pandya. Number 6, Dhoni. Number 7, DK. Number 8, Jadeja. Jadeja is the highest averaging batsman at number 7 in one-day cricket. Okay. So, again, Jadeja was pushed to number 8. Okay, this is 4 years back. Now comes the semi-final. Okay. Number 4 is Rishabh Pant. Number 5 is Dinesh Karthik. Number 6 is Pandya. Dhoni is being dropped down to number 7. And perfectly seeming conditions, there is no Mohammad Shami to reduce a total by probably 20 or 15 runs at least, which would have given India a chance to win the match. And then at the time of crisis, Dhoni was not. The only problem that people had with Dhoni was that he was batting slow. Actually, Jadeja has 10 overs, 1 for 34. Okay, so he's bowled brilliantly. Even Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has bowled. Hardik has given 1 for 55. And Chahal has given 1 for 63. So if Shami had played and India had scored 20 runs, I mean, New Zealand had been restricted to 20 runs shorter, we could have actually won the match is another argument. And Shami, what better could he have not done? I don't know. Now, the one more match that I would like to see is India versus England. So this is the India-England scorecard. England batted first and they posted quite a good total and all that. And again, Shami has a 5-wicket haul in this match. Okay. And he's dropped after this. Okay.
Look at Chahal's stats. Look at Pandya's stats.
Chahal has given 88 runs. Yeah. Kuldeep has given 72 runs. And Kuldeep has picked a wicket and Kuldeep was dropped. And still, Hardik has not been an effective third seamer. And Bhubaneswar has already missed out on 2-3 matches in it. Okay.
This was actually by design because before the World Cup, Shastri very clearly mentioned that they had created a team where batsmen were like floaters. So depending on the match situation, you could send in whoever you want to. And
Correct.
this is something that has never really worked in cricket. And
Yeah,
probably the way the top three batsmen were batting throughout, Rohit, Dhawan and Virat, and later on Rahul, the whole middle order was getting shielded.
Yes.
But once
100%.
these guys failed, the middle order was exposed like anything.
Yeah, if I'm not
Exactly.
wrong, this was a match before the semifinals. We had already chasing. KL Rahul got out for a duck. Rohit and Kohli have batted brilliantly, and then Pant is at number 4. Hardik is at number 5. And look at the thing is, I remember Dhoni and Kedar Jadhav not even going for the win. They just needed some 30 runs more to win the match, but they were playing. All of them were probably the bowling was exceptionally good, but still there was no intent to hit or something. At that time, it was being criticized. So if Dhoni was being slow, it would have made sense for India to have. They should have sent him at number 5 in the New Zealand match and let him eat the overs, and later probably Hardik and DK could have come. That's what I would think. Okay. So they sent him at number 7, Jadeja at number 8, and then both of them got out. The match is over. We were just hoping for a miracle at that point of time to win the match.
Also, what's appalling is the fact that DK barely played any games during the league stage, and then he was parachuted into the semi-final, where he was suddenly expected to support the middle order. I think the problems of the middle order were what cost us, and like you rightly said, Techno. Thanks for that wonderful analysis, by the way. That was so detailed.
I was just shocked seeing at the wavering mindset of the Indian.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
Bhuvi drops off for 2-3 matches. Okay, they said we are not going to play Ashwin Jadeja. It's going to be Kuldeep and Chahal, and then not play suddenly Kuldeep out of the mix. And England, I don't know if you need Kuldeep and Chahal, to be honest. And then, despite all these reasons, I feel India finished first at the table. It was not like because of this thing. So whatever, this is what it is. So I feel that 2019 India is very different from 2023 India. Here, when I looked at the numbers, the top, 5 out of 6 batters in India, like Rohit, KL, Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, and Jadeja, and Shubman Gill, 6 of them are averaging more than 50, which never happened in 2019. And so
I think it's also fair to say that this whole middle order shuffle, we got our middle order exposed right in the first game against Australia, and we kind of got saved there. And of course, Hardik Pandya's lucky injury that's made Shami play the rest of the World Cup for us. So
100%.
Yeah, it's been an amazing run so far, and very different to 2019. So that analysis really puts some of our doubts to rest, because there's a lot of people thinking, well, India dominated in 2019 as well, but we didn't win the World Cup. So I guess you've very nicely laid out the reasons. I'm going to throw it to Prasanna Kovalam to get his thoughts on this analysis and further about our prospects.
Thank you very much, Prashanth. A couple of questions on the intent. Did you also do the analysis with regards to bowling lengths, bowling lines, and degrees of swing? I'm very keen to understand, where do you think Kuldeep, Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar, Chahal, and my favorite Vijay Shankar being the 3D player that it is, and a 3D analysis of his lengths and lines would be really good. So I think next cadence that we have, we'll set up a regular cadence for this. I'd like to go through that in detail with you.
Secondly, Prasanna, you're gonna have to subscribe to his OnlyFans to get that information.
Oh man, look, with that beard, don't get me wrong, his beard and my moustache, I reckon we could be on 2 boys 1 cup.
It could be called beard and mustache.
Beard and well, there's hair everywhere. I was gonna say, now, before I start on the other thing, Manan obviously talked to me about something about being a fool, and I will gladly accept I am a fool. My question to this is, Manan, remember once again, Zampa is the second leading wicket taker, but apart from that, everyone's done bugger all. Okay, so I'm still not too convinced about the Australian cricket team. Still not convinced.
Let's call
agree
it,
to disagree.
let's not call it, go on. Let's not call it bugger off. It's like they've played their part.
Well, mate, it's Zampa, and beyond that, there's no one. There's Josh Hazlewood at 14. right? Bloody Harris Ralph has taken more than him.
Speaking of Hazlewood, he's the only one I'm most worried about in the next game.
Hazlewood's got an average of 27.79. I've got an average of 27.79, and I'm a park cricketer, and I'm a pretty shit park cricketer.
That's the reason why we are saying that India has an edge over Australia, but we are not saying that we are clear favorites yet.
Look,
just because we are playing Australia.
Yeah, guys, I think the collective, the average age of this group is around 34, safe to say, and I think 34 is long enough to have experienced enough past trauma at the hands of Australia in World Cups for us to have the jitters before a big game, before a World Cup final.
That's exactly what I'm saying. This is a good Australian cricket team, no doubt. It's a good Australian cricket team, but it ain't Steve Waugh's 1999. It ain't Ricky Ponting's 2003. It ain't Ricky Ponting's 2007, and it ain't Steve Waugh's 2015. So, sorry, Steve Smith's 2015. But Vijay, you raise a very good point. It is jittery. I am scared, like everyone is. I am scared. And I think this is a good time to talk about superstitions, right? I'm very interested what everyone's superstitions is, especially when we're going to be watching the game. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking my India cricket t-shirt. I've washed it. It's just dried. I've got to take it from the wash. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. Janvi and I are coming. We're going to sit down at the Ahmedabad, and we are going to cheer the crap out of that stadium. If anyone else's voice is heard apart from mine, I will be disappointed. Manan, what are you going to do?
So, last few crunch games, the India-Pakistan T20 in Melbourne, the India-Pakistan game this time around, and the semi-final, the last game. The situations where I stopped watching the game, India were behind. When I started watching, I had my laptop on and I was working in parallel, doing some essay analysis and all that. This is what I intend to do tomorrow. I've basically, left the best for the last. So there is a ton amount of work on my laptop most of the day, and that's my superstition for now, at least looking at the past few games. Of course, India t-shirt definitely goes without saying.
Are any of you taking a flight tomorrow? If yes, please do not take Vistara because they're not going to give you a score update.
They will not. They will not. I read on Twitter, Indigo was providing score updates.
Yeah.
So Vistara has not done it in the past, couple of times when I have asked them. So don't expect them to do it again.
Yeah,
so.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be going to some friend's house, probably Prashanth's house because he lives 10 minutes from where I live for some part of the game, and then come back during the second innings and sit in that one position in the sofa from where I saw the 2011 final. It was this house. I'm glad I'm back here. So yeah, it's going to be just sitting and watching the game from the comfort of my house, as especially the second innings, most of it. And of course, I'm going to have my mom screaming at every catch that the opposition takes, or every four that India concedes, and she's going to be shouting that India is going to lose this every single time. Like even the most tiniest of setbacks happens, my mom's going to be like, "Oh, that's it, it's gone." Right, and that is exactly that we need that kind of negativity, if you may call it that. It's that collective jittery negativity of Indian mums that actually takes the team back home. It's basically it is their superstition. It's their nazar or drishti, as you may call it. Ritvik, thoughts?
By the way, I'm wondering if Indigo actually charged their passengers for telling them the score.
Probably they did.
Well, I'm just going to bring out the tricolor, probably drape it around my shoulder, and then watch the game with the tricolor around me. I'm skeptical of two numbers. I've got a small superstition tip for the Indian team also. Those two numbers being 234 and 125. Going back to the 2003 World Cup, how much did India score in the first league game against Australia? 120. Okay. How many did we lose the final by? 125. How many did India score in the final? 234. How much was the partnership between Ponting and Martin worth? 234. So whatever you guys do, just keep away from these numbers. And once India wins, I know what I'm going to do. This.
Do you want to take a flight out and do that?
Not really.
Add to the pollution?
Nope. This.
Excellent. I'm hoping for a superstition which is not in my hands right now. If the first ball of the match is bowled by a left-arm seamer like Mitchell Stark, and if it goes for a wide, I am like, that's it. Thank God. And I'll just I'm hoping for that superstition more than. So it's not in my control. So if Australia
Yes,
bowl first and Stark bowls wide, I'm done.
Right, so let's pick teams. What's your playing 11, PK?
All right, I'm going to be a bit incendiary. Australia hasn't played really well against spin. Therefore, do you reckon Ashwin gets a look in?
No.
Possibly go with 6 bowlers? Or does Ashwin come in place of Siraj? Look, despite being a Hyderabadi boy and despite loving Siraj, tum great ho yaro. I reckon Ash over Siraj. I reckon. So that's probably the only change I'll make. Manan.
Yeah, I mean, it might make sense to bring Ashwin in, but I doubt they'll tinker with the 11. Even if Ashwin has to come, I think he should be in the place of Sky. If you have to boost the bowling and, not impact the batting as much, because Sky has not performed so far as much in the tournament. But if they stick with the 11, then my money right now is on Sky to perform, because he's the only one who's due. Everybody has share, and it'll be a great one, to pass the baton on to this young team. And Sky will be there at the helm of the T20 World Cup next year and the later, editions as well. So for me, I will stay with the current 11, and Sky is my man.
Did you guys not learn anything from that huge analysis that Prashanth just gave us about not tinkering with the team before a big game? What the hell, guys? Come on. I am not touching that team. They've been doing well. I don't care if Ashwin's local, he's our Ashwin Anna or whatever. I don't care that Prashanth Techno has worked on his show. I don't think Ashwin should be playing in that 11 unless someone's injured. And yeah, I mean, well, Ritvik, what are your thoughts? Like, we'll just take your thoughts quickly on this and move to the predictions, the percentage predictions of who's going to lift this World Cup.
Well, I honestly think India will continue with the same 11. Unless there is something in the track, something that Mr. Jay Shah has done to make sure that spinners have a party there tomorrow. It totally depends on what the pitch looks like. But mostly, I think India will continue with the same 11. I am hoping India wins. It's going to be a close game, probably not a 300 plus score. Ahmedabad has still not given us a 300 plus score this World Cup. Probably in the first game, New Zealand could have scored that, but they were only chasing 286, which England had given them. I think it will be a 280, 290 types of a game tomorrow. And plus the World Cup final also comes with its own share of pressure. So I don't expect batsmen to be tonking the balls here and there. But yeah, something around 280, 290 should be okay.
Yep. Right, yeah. PK, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I reckon India's going to win by 2 wickets or 35 runs.
2 wickets. Nahin yaar. Bahut close ho jayega. I've got the BB machine out.
Dude, I'd rather have like a thumping victory, like the Asia Cup final, than India winning by 2 wickets.
Really, this World Cup has not had a single super over, by the way. Just putting it out there.
Prashanth, final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts on what?
All right, so my predictions are India. I mean, I don't know, like 65-35 India Australia. I'm not going to predict any margins, but hopefully it's a convincing thumping victory. Prashanth Techno, what are your thoughts?
I think I want to be part of a group or a peer group, whatever thinks that, India are going to win it. So I'm going to say that India is going to win it. I've never said that versus Australia, but now I feel like it's okay, man. We've seen Rishabh Pant doing it in Brisbane, and we've seen many matches where we thought it was over. I think it is a beginning of the ages where we think, India can win this. So 60-40, 65-35, something like that.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Prashanth, for being on the show and for your wonderful contributions. And thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been the 14th episode of the Common Fan Podcast, and we started this podcast a day before the India versus Australia game. And no, don't worry, we're not ending the podcast another day before an India-Australia game. This is going to continue no matter what happens tomorrow. So hopefully we'll join you in episode 15 of the Common Fan show and podcast in a celebratory mode. So signing off, this is Vijaynarain, Ritvik, Shekhar, Prasanna, Kovalam, Manan, Puri, and our guest today, Prashanth Techno. Thank you all, and let's cheer for India.
It's time for India.
Jitega.
And for India.